So Will Smith is giving some insight into why he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Will made his first late-night appearance since the slap on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, where he called that night, quote-unquote, horrific. And while he said there were nuances and complexities as to why he slapped Chris, at the end of the day, he said he just lost it. Watch.
You know, it was a lot of things. It was the little boy that watched his father beat up his mother. You know, it's you know, all of that just bubbled up.
Yeah.
In that moment, I was gone. I was, you know, that was a rage that had been bottled for a really long time.
Will also said that he doesn't want the slap to define the person he is and that it's killing him, that it might affect whether people will see his new movie, Emancipation. So he didn't go on Trevor Noah, I just want to clarify, to clear the air as far as the slap heard around the world. He was there to promote Emancipation, and Trevor Noah said, you've been out of the limelight for a while, and then it just kind of came out. What did you think about what he said about this being a stain that he's afraid people won't get past?
Well, I mean, they won't. So that's accurate. You know, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that he said he's worried people won't see his movie. It's like, well, what about the people that went after him in that award show? People didn't see that as well. I look at the situation and I feel like he can talk until he's blue in the face, but until Chris Rock speaks, this goes nowhere. And I think that Chris Rock is well within his rights and maybe is enjoying the fact that, you know, now you get to kind of spin out there until I decide to speak on this, if I ever do. And honestly, I don't see how Will Smith moves forward without us hearing from Chris Rock in some kind of way about this situation. I don't know if we're going to see a sit down, Jeff. I think some relationships are irreparably damaged. I think this might be one of them.
Yeah, it would be nice to see a sit down, right? I think for closure for everybody, so everyone can move forward. I don't want Will Smith to be canceled for the rest of his life, right? I also don't like, hey man, this is because my father hit my mom. Well, you had the Fresh Prince and 50 other movies and a rap album and all this other stuff, which you didn't even swear on. So don't tell me this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I didn't really like that excuse. I would have liked it. Hey, Chris, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move forward. I got a movie coming out. If you want to sit down, let's do it right with Trevor Noah. That's what I would have liked to see. But I can't tell somebody how to apologize either. Chris Rock needs to make the next move, which I think will be in his special, right? Yes. After that, I think maybe they could have that conversation. But as far as now goes, he's trying to promote his movie. Everyone thinks people just make movies because they're fun and I'm a star. There's investors. There's money to be made here. And his investors are like, you got to get out there and promote this movie because we need to recoup our money. That's what they're doing right now.
And I will say, I think Will Smith is a bit naive, and I say that nicely, if he thinks this won't affect Emancipation. It will. I think if I were Apple TV, I would have delayed this. I would have delayed this a year or two. The stain that he's talking about is fresh. Excuse me, we can smell it on him. And when you go into excuses like Jeff said, you're just over talking at this point. We don't need disclaimers. You smacked a man, a grown man, on TV in front of us all. The less you say, the better. I wouldn't have put out the movie. I might have waited. Again, I like Will Smith. I was shook by what he did. I went into a dog bed in the dark and sat for 2 hours after the slap.
That's an issue.
I know. And guess what? I was uncomfortable. Well. But I knew something in pop culture had shifted in a way that was violent to me. And it was very personal.
Let me ask you a quick question. I'm sorry, Sammy. And Sam, you can jump in here too. Do you think this is, I'm not equating this thing, is this the equivalent to a Kramer situation where like you just go away forever? You assaulted a man in front of the world was watching. The world.
If people don't know, Michael Richardson
used an N-word in his stand-up, and it was filmed.
And he's never really been seen since.
That's right.
Do you think this might be that? Because
no, I think Will Smith has more good grace than I think an equity than Kramer did.
Kramer's beloved.
Yeah, but not like Will Smith. I mean, people grew up with him and they saw him as their big brother in a lot of ways. This has shaken that foundation.
I always hope that there's a road to redemption.
Me too.
I really do. I don't want to see this affect him. And believe me, I agree with everything all three of you said, but I don't want to see this affect him for the rest of his life. If he indeed is sincere in his apology whenever he does apologize one-on-one with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
But, all right, we'll have to wait and see. So Howard Stern is calling out Oprah for showing off her wealth on social media. During an interview, or an episode rather, of his radio show, Howard criticized Oprah for posting images of her estate on social, saying that it's mind-blowing that she's not embarrassed about her wealth one bit. He mentioned videos of lavish parties with private chefs and people he said service her. Co-host Robin Quivers pushed back and said Oprah was just showing us her life, not showing off. But Howard said Oprah should be more self-aware about what she posts because there are people struggling out there.
I think this is really stupid on Howard Stern, and I really like Howard Stern. But if you didn't know, Oprah grew up sleeping on the porch because she was the darkest of all of her cousins. She was raped and impregnated by an uncle at 13. I mean, this woman has earned every cent that she made. And at some point, I thought it was excellent to see black excellence and black wealth be normalized. And she promotes those people, and she gives so much back to the men of Morehouse, to the people in South Africa. So to me, this is about Gwyneth Paltrow. When you talk about shameless wealth and not thinking through, you can put that on GP, but not on Oprah, in my point of view.
You bring up Gwyneth of all.
I'm sorry, that's who you could have. Sorry.
Brought up the Kardashians. There's so many other celebrities that
Just Gwyneth.
Their wealth. What do you think, though? Do you think he has a point? Do you like it in general when celebrities flaunt their wealth?
What good statement came out of blank is calling out Oprah? It doesn't end well. It doesn't end well. You don't do that. You don't do that. But she's worth $2.5 billion, right? How are you not supposed to show that if you're putting that out on social media? It's impossible not to. I don't know if we need to call out Oprah in this situation. There's people taking pictures next to Bugattis that aren't theirs, that they rented, and all this other stuff, and other, like the Kardashians and other people like that. So I don't know if I'd go after Oprah with this.
I think this is a story that got blown up and out of proportion. If you listen to Howard Stern, he's on for 4 hours. He talks. So I'm sure if anybody watched her Thanksgiving videos on her stories, I did, it's very opulent. And I would only imagine the way Howard speaks, I'm a huge fan of his show, it probably got naturally brought up, and he just said, I don't understand why, she shows that to the world. I don't think he's calling her out. I don't think he's criticizing her. In fact, in that same episode, he talked about how incredible of an activist she is and a philanthropist she is. So again, I think this is the media taking one snippet of a 4-hour show and then everyone going on.
But it's talked 4 hours a day, 5 days a week about whatever.
But
you're going to get a clip.
I agree, but does it not bring up something, and Al, I'm asking you specifically about not allowing black wealth, black excellence in that way?
I don't even know if it's about black wealth. I feel like it's this weird thing that we put on strictly celebrities and entertainers, where they are not allowed to show off their money. If an NFL player has, a huge gold chain, that's a thing. Wall Street guys never have to account for their incredible wealth for doing literally nothing. They sit there. Oprah took over the world as a black woman. If you're a wide receiver, you're getting hit by a linebacker that's built like a house. Wall Street guys make a ton of money. A lot of it is shady. A lot of it is under the table, and no one says anything when they're on their yacht. Everybody's like, hey, let's go watch Wolf of Wall Street. What a cool guy. They love that.
But a black woman, that's what I was wondering.
But anybody else, I
disagree with you. I don't think that you can paint with a broad brush that way. I think you can really look at it, and I think you use discernment. When you look, I'll be honest, when I watch certain videos of Kylie Jenner, on her jet with her name on it and her kid dressed head to toe in Hermes, that to me is off-putting.
What do you want her to be on, Southwest?
No, it's off-putting. I don't think you need to show the world how materialistic you are. That to me comes off shallow and materialistic. Am I going to go on a big rant about it unless I'm asked to on right here? No, but
that's being honest about your life. If they're doing a documentary about somebody that's homeless and they're showing them be homeless, that'd be okay. If they're showing a documentary about somebody that's super wealthy,
that's her life. I think it's materialistic and shallow. That's her life.
I would love to be both of those things. See me in season 15. There's going to be a gold robot sitting here.